Can you ever really be sad in a Ferrari? Well, the answer is yes. The answer is always gonna be yes. Ferrari has ruined all of its Formula 1 drivers that have competed for them, which has really made me concerned for Charles Leclerc, who is supposedly meant to compete with the team for a total of a whopping 11 years. This man is addicted to pain. I have never seen anyone as loyal as him, even if I don't exactly know if he carries the same energy as that when it comes to his relationships. But moving on from that, Ferrari has pretty much severely damaged almost every single driver it's ever hired, with of course Michael Schumacher being the exception. I was about to mention Kimi as well, but...
Steering wheel, somebody tell him to give it to me. Come on!
Yeah. Ever since the 2007 season and onwards, Ferrari has really been damaging the overall mental and also physical health of their drivers. From their amazing, never been done before strategy calls, amazing cars, especially in the 2014 season, pit stops that are completed at lightning speed, and race engineers that always respond as quickly as possible. These are all things that create the Ferrari effect.
Stay out!
One thing that the Ferrari effect does such an amazing job at is edging its drivers. I don't mean it in that sort of context, but I mean it in more of a way that there are so many Ferrari drivers in F1 after the 2007 season who have tried to create a similar effect. You know, bringing in wins, bringing in victories for the team, and ultimately bringing back the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships back home to the Scuderia. There are 3 drivers who have attempted to do this, and unfortunately, and not really much of a surprise, they failed in a very miserable fashion. Like, this shit is so fucking sad to see. I personally rewatched the past 10 years of Ferrari history, and I shed a tear. It was the most miserable experience that I am about to really share with you guys in the later stages of this video. Now, one of the drivers who have tried to recreate a similar effect since the 2007 season is Fernando Alonso, who, in my personal opinion, is one of my most favorite drivers out there, and a driver who is known for picking the best teams on the grid and having the best luck as a driver. Fernando raced for Ferrari during the 2010s, and as I was on my binge of watching the past 10 seasons of Ferrari, I was really rooting for him to win a driver's championship for the team. But without a doubt, Ferrari being Ferrari, it quickly became the most painful watching session as Fernando came so close to winning the championship on more than one occasion, and sometimes he would only be separated from P1 just by a few points. Fernando was so close to winning the championship, but because he was forced to unfortunate situations and having to drive an absolute shitbox of a car, he wasn't able to seize a championship win in a Ferrari. Once again, not really much of a surprise. This especially stood out in the 2014 season where Fernando drove a car that some people say was utterly perfect. You know, it understeered and oversteered at the same time, which many deemed almost impossible for an F1 car to have both of these qualities. Because in F1, it was either a car that was more prone to understeer or more prone to oversteer, not both at the same time. So this was insane. Ferrari, you guys have done such an amazing job. You know, finally an innovation that was so fucking horrible, it defied the impossible. So yeah, it was definitely the most ideal car for Fernando to have to compete for a championship that he, to our surprise, didn't win. Now, this does not discredit Fernando from being the great driver that he is. Fernando did a lot with that car, despite it understeering and oversteering at the same time. You know, he brought it up to actually gain podiums, but obviously still wasn't able to secure a world title. And Fernando is an amazing driver, and he's still able to perform tremendously even up to this day. Anyway, the other drivers who have attempted to get a championship for Ferrari are Sebastian Vettel, back when he started in 2015, and came close twice in 2017 and 2018. And of course, Charles Leclerc, who came really close in 2022. Now these guys are both victims of Italian incompetence. I swear to God, Ferrari are just edging these drivers to the absolute limit. They drove to the best of their ability, just like Fernando, and sure, occasionally there would be mistakes and fumbles beyond despair. But they weren't really gonna get a championship anyway because, well, they're driving for Ferrari. This brings us to another amazing part of the Ferrari effect, which is the mental drainage that it offers its drivers. Like, you don't see any other teams out there giving that shit out for free, right? Well, Ferrari has been giving out a ton of depression to Charles, all for free. You know, how kind is it for them to have done that, am I right?
I don't think anymore now. I stopped thinking a long time ago.
Some of the reasons why Ferrari is able to give out so much mental drainage and depression to its fans and drivers is, of course, its 100 IQ strategies, fastest pit stops that have ever been done, and also their amazingly talented, superbly aware race engineers.
Tried everything!
Box, Carlos, box. Pit confirmed.
Not now, not now.
Oh, why were they telling you to pit?
It was so bad to the point where Carlos even had to make his own strategy in order to secure his win in the Singapore Grand Prix of 2023. He held back the Mercedes by letting Lando get his DRS, while Ferrari was telling him to literally just see the sunset. And I believe that if drivers are competing for Ferrari, they have to do this. You know, they have to improvise their own strategy or they're just not gonna win. So in realistic terms, for a driver to be a Ferrari world champion, they would have to be team principal, strategist, race engineer, engine manufacturer, pit stop crew, and driver all at the same time. Pretty realistic, right? I mean, just thinking about it, Charles could probably just jump out of his car mid-pit stop, change the tires by himself, think about his own strategy for the future of the race, and still come ahead of where Ferrari would probably be if they controlled the entire team.
What are we looking for in terms of position?
We can keep Bottas behind P1.
Obviously, because you're leading the race.
For a team with this much success, fumbling this hard, like, I have never seen a Ferrari fan who has genuinely never started tweaking at some point throughout the season. Some kind of fumble has to eventually happen, and it's because it's just, you know, Ferrari.
The Retta Aposta, can he now fight back? Leclerc made it very tough earlier. And for the no, he's got a puncture.
Just to give you guys a rundown of some of the amazing decisions that Ferrari has done to their drivers to have given them crippling depression. In Monaco of 2022, they decided to pit Charles at the worst possible time ever so that he would lose the lead of the race and end up finishing 4th. Another amazing moment was when Xavi, the race engineer of Charles, missed telling him to pit under the safety car. Another incident was the iconic Hungarian GP of 2022, where Ferrari did a 200 IQ move. Like, this shit was so smart that everybody just did not know what was happening, as they put Charles on hard tires, despite him saying that the mediums were just fine.
Unfortunately, we decided to stop on those hard, which I don't exactly know what was the goal there, but...
The final impact the Ferrari effect has had on its drivers is truly devastating. And I mean, it's purely evil and just shows how much Italian incompetence can really ruin an individual, and it's hair loss, which also rhymes with Carlos Sainz, another F1 Ferrari driver who has fallen victim to the atrocity of the so-called Team Ferrari. The hair looks abysmal, and it just proves that Lando's point was right.
My girlfriend has a thing for Sainz. What can I do to make her stop thinking about him? Imagine him with short hair. It's horrible. Just imagine Carlos with short hair. It just doesn't work. So yeah, tell her to imagine him like with a little bowl cut or skin fade or something.
Now, for all of you Carlos fans who are really concerned after that haircut, it's not real, don't worry about it. But other drivers who have suffered similar fates as that photo right there is Sebastian Vettel. I mean, just look at that. He has recovered significantly from it, but it just shows what the Ferrari effect can really do to someone. And Charles Leclerc couldn't also escape it, but he doesn't have it as extreme since his mum cuts his hair.
I've definitely regretted a haircut.
Oh no, I definitely have.
No, my mum is cutting my hair, so...
Felipe Massa is actually one of the prime examples of this Ferrari effect taking into play, and there you have it. Such amazing, hardworking, talented, loyal drivers ruined by a Scuderia that thinks it knows what it's doing because of their history and brand. Something is wrong with Ferrari. I mean, no shit, you know, there's no denying that. But despite its struggles as a team, there is also no denying that it's still one of the best teams in Formula One, and their fans are truly the most loyal. This is merely just a video discussing the team's effects on its drivers, which are still pretty fucking horrid, and hopefully it doesn't spill out to its fans. I don't want to wake up to see the whole world suffering through hair loss, because at the end of the day, everyone is a Ferrari fan.